Well, I know very little about any of this. I watched some of the CW DC shows, The Flash. I watched The Arrow for a bit, and then I kind of stopped watching it because it kind of got boring, and I was finding myself skipping through episodes, and I just sort of just trailed off and stopped watching it. The Flash is okay, but the same thing happened. I watched Supergirl for a little bit, and now I'm kind of just and Legends of Tomorrow, and now I'm just kind of like I'm just not going to watch it. But apparently they're doing a Batwoman show, and they cast Ruby Rose as the lead, and I guess the story is that Ruby Rose is a lesbian. According to her Wikipedia, she came out at the age of 12, and she's been very vocal about her support for the community and what life has been like for her because of her coming out with her sexuality. And so apparently the show I'm hearing is going to be Batwoman, who's an open lesbian Batwoman. She's going to be joining the DC universe on the CW. And then I heard that she abandoned Twitter. We got the story. I don't know what Fandom Wire is, but I saw this on Twitter. It said Ruby Rose abandons Twitter after negative fan backlash. Apparently, she was getting harassed, and people were attacking her for this. So I'm going to look at this story, but then there's another story from like a gaming website or something that I want to look at, and then some comments from people on social media because look, you remember Kelly Marie Tran, who played Rose Tico? They all claim that she was bullied off of Instagram, that she deleted her social media because of harassment. I don't know if that's true. I made a video about it, and it seemed more like her contractual obligation for social media was up, so she just got rid of her account. I read somewhere that she started the account to coincide with the press run for The Last Jedi, and then after 6 months, she closed the account down. So I think that may have been like a contractual obligation. And yeah, look, I'm not going to go through all the old details. I made a video about it, but I'm pretty sure that she didn't really flee because of it, that the narrative evolved that way. Because like the first article said, was it because of harassment? And then the next article said, amid harassment. And then it evolved to because of harassment, right? That's how the narrative evolves. It's a game of telephone these journalists play. Orange is the new Black Star. Ruby Rose has abandoned social media after receiving negative comments as a result of her recent casting as Batwoman on the CW. But guess what? It's not the right. It's not Gamergate or whatever they want to claim. This was left-wing social justice warriors attacking her for, in some instances, not being a lesbian, for not being a lesbian enough. Like, I don't know what that means. I think that's really offensive. People were just hounding her, and she ditched Twitter because of it. Let me just stop here and say, you think this is going to get a lot of play among the left-wing digital media outlets? I don't think so, but yeah, maybe, because harassing people is wrong. Well, so much, I don't know if we can say it's harassment, but let's take a look at what exactly happened. She said, Rose claimed on Twitter that she was leaving after a mixed reaction to the news that she would be portraying one of DC Comics' most iconic LGBTQIA characters in the library. Some of the criticism directed at Rose's casting was that she was not gay or that she was too gay. Oh, wow. To which Rose took personal offense to. Before deleting her social media account, she had fired back at critics by saying the following. Where on earth did, quote, Ruby is not a lesbian, therefore she can't be Batwoman, end quote, come from? Has to be the funniest, most ludicrous thing I've ever read. I came out at 12 and have for the past 5 years had to deal with she's too gay. How do y'all flip it like that? I didn't change. And that says to me that it's clearly the left coming after her, accusing her of not being gay or being too gay is an issue of the LGBTQ community, not something that we typically associate with, Gamergate or, the right or whatever. While Rose did receive some negative fan backlash, she also received some goodwill from people who were excited about the casting and what it means for the LGBTQIA population. Celebrities such as her, the CW co-star Stephen Amell, Janelle Monáe, and Mariah Carey all took social media to congratulate her on this big breakthrough in casting. So they say Ruby Rose is gender fluid. She has always said she prefers women. It's wrong to go around saying she's not gay enough for Batwoman. The casting of Rose also received the blessing of Batwoman co-creator Greg Rucka. Those who are familiar with Rucka's work are certainly not impressed with the recent endorsement, as he has been one of the strongest champions of diversity in comics after having written Batwoman and one of the most acclaimed runs at Wonder Woman. Wait, hold on. Let me read this again. Those who are familiar with his work were not surprised. Sorry. Did I say impressed? Maybe I read that wrong. Maybe I didn't read it wrong. I just thought I did. Whether Rose decides to return to social media after receiving the negative criticism remains to be seen. So, what exactly did people say to this actress simply because she was cast? Well, there's another article. This one's from One angry gamer, I'm not super familiar with this. I've seen this bounce around the internet, every so often. But they say, Ruby Rose will play lesbian Batwoman in CW series. Gay actress was CW's top priority. So apparently, they really wanted to make sure that they cast a lesbian to play the Batwoman because Batwoman's a lesbian. And I think with what happened, Scarlett Johansson and the trans role, and the kind of really extreme rules that are forming around what you can or can't do in terms of acting, that a studio is going to absolutely cast someone who represents a character better. I think the whole thing's absolutely ridiculous. I think anybody could act as any. If Scarlett Johansson wants to play someone who's trans, I really don't see personally a big issue with that. I understand a lot of people are offended by it and they have their reasons. And admittedly, I'm not part of the community, so I don't. I can't speak on behalf of them. I just think actors act. Actors pretend to be things they're not. So I guess if they want to increase that representation, sure, whatever. Like I don't care. Ruby Rose, not familiar with her, but sure, why not? I really don't care. Just make the show good. Write the show good, give the character good motivations, a good struggle, and we're good to go. Just, follow the rules. I love how the things being advertised on this website are just like weird anime sexualized stuff. But I digress. It's not really a website that I frequent. So I want to look at the tweets that were sent to her. First, well, not necessarily sent to her, but at her, in reference to her. I'm so disappointed. I was hoping for a fresh face to give life to this iconic character. What does that mean? Ruby Rose is famous. She's not like the most famous person in the world. How is that not a fresh face? And what does that mean by fresh face? They want to take a new rookie actor? I don't understand what that means. Here we go. Not only does Ruby Rose not identify as a lesbian, but she's not Jewish either. So they basically lied about it wanting an actor that represented the diversity to stay true to who Batwoman is, and instead just picked a hot white person that isn't too gay to offend the straights. What? Oh my God. Okay, first of all, she openly identifies as a lesbian. It's in her Wikipedia page. She publicly stated it again. Is the issue here that she's hot? And they put hot in quotes. Like, what does that mean? Are you body shaming Ruby Rose? Instead, they just picked a, quote, hot white person. Is that, okay, when you put something in quotes, you're meant to, not convey its true meaning. If I said, fascist, something like that, it's typically because you're saying that it's like a pseudo, it's like, it doesn't fit necessarily. You guys understand air quotes. So is that what she's trying to imply? A hot white person that isn't too gay? What do you mean? She's been gay her whole life. I don't know a lot about her. I just looked her up and I was like, okay, this is what I understood before I read this. Here we go, some more. Okay, but casting Ruby Rose as Batwoman truly is a big fuck you to all the lesbian fans. They don't care about the rep. They just wanted to cast a lesbian to have good press, so they just gave it to her because she's well-known and liked by straight girls. Wow, what? And then here we have, okay, so this is, I think, probably the most important thing to address is Akilah Hughes. Because Akilah Hughes, she's a blue check mark, she's well-known, she's had some high-profile jobs. She said, excited for Batwoman to, checks notes, be attractive and have an accent while saying lines poorly. What is this supposed to mean? Right? I mean, she's an actress, she's a lesbian, and she was cast in a role. What's wrong with that? Am I missing something here? Can I just point out, the narrative tends to be that it's the Gamergate, whatever, I don't know what that necessarily refers to at this point, crew who's always ragging on diversity and SJWs. But these are social justice activists. Akilah Hughes is a very well-known social justice activist. She speaks at VidCon, right? I write about these panels about harassment. And here she is, ragging on somebody. Albeit, she's not ragging on Ruby Rose for, being a lesbian or not being a lesbian. She's just saying that she's being snarky because Ruby Rose is attractive and says she's bad at acting. But she's contributing to this campaign, essentially. Look, the snowflake doesn't blame itself for the avalanche, right? You know what that means? Basically, none of these individuals are responsible for driving Ruby Rose off of Twitter. But they're the snowflake in the avalanche. And at some point, you need to recognize that you are a part of this, all right? At the bottom of the article, it says, get woke, go broke. They say, it's pretty obvious who the show will be catering toward and what kind of show it will be when it launches next fall on the CW network. Some people across social media are already making it known exactly how they feel about the new show and what they expect will happen once it does hit the airwaves. Let me tell you, I got a story for y'all. I worked with someone. I don't like putting people on the spot, so I won't say her name. But she put together a video about queer sex issues, okay? The idea was non-hetero sex health. And I warned her, I said, look, I understand your good intentions. I understand you're well-intentioned. I understand you've done your research and you're abiding by the rules, right? You're appropriately naming things. And this is a person who is like a progressive, you'd probably refer to her as an SJW type. She did everything right. Everything right. The terminology was on point, and I said, it won't matter. They will attack you. They will criticize the video, and there will be a backlash if you do this. Okay? Even though you follow the rules, even though you're respectful and polite and tried to address the questions they have, it won't be enough. There are people who just don't agree in that community, and they're going to say you are misrepresenting them or you're transphobic. And that is exactly what happened. And she told me she didn't understand why they were attacking her because she said everything right. And I said, no, because you can't be right. You're not a member of their community, and you're speaking on their behalf, even though you can ask them for quotes, even though she interviewed people in the queer community. It doesn't matter. The queer community is not a monolith. They don't all agree on the same things. So what happened was a couple people started, posting on social media saying that this was wrong. It was misrepresenting them. It was bad for their community. It was causing them harm. It could put their lives in danger. And then the other leftists just said, oh my God, can you see what they did? I had to do a jump cut just now because I've got a fly bothering me. But the other people on the left just jumped in because they were like, you're attacking a marginalized community, so we're going to defend this person. We're going to defend these people calling you out. And then people who actually agree with her started saying, yeah, it was wrong. Because that's what the tribe said to do. And that's how it happened. So you know what? Anybody can harass anybody. Anybody can be driven off of social media by anybody. But I'll add one more thing. I don't think it's anyone's fault that Ruby Rose left the platform. Like I mentioned, the snowflake doesn't blame itself for the avalanche. But in this instance, having a bunch of people tweet at you and say nasty things, that's not going to kill you. You know what I mean? So I think she did the exact thing she should have done. Ruby Rose, she said, what the hell? And she got off. There you go. It's like that tweet from, I think it was like Tyler, the Creator. He said, how is cyberbullying real? Just close your eyes, right? And that's what she did. She chose to leave because people on the internet are assholes. And that's the internet. So if you don't want to be here and you don't want to see the assholes, get off the internet. Get off Twitter. And she did. I think it's unfortunate that people are assholes to each other. I think it's unfortunate this had to happen. But I'll say this. I got a lot of respect for Ruby for just getting off Twitter. It's a hard thing to do. People are addicted to social media, but she did it. And I have very little respect for those that were kind of hounding her. But it is what it is. These things happen, and the internet is an awful place. Twitter is a hellscape of terrifying opinions and mean, nasty people. And there you go. Anyway, stick around. I've got one more video coming up in just a few minutes.